right. Thank you for joining me. My name is Myra, and I'm going to be going into my garden now and kind of letting you know what it looks like, what has been completed, what I intend on doing over this weekend. I've put down some more cardboard trying to suppress some of the weeds in between where I want to plant some lettuces, but unfortunately, it's not functioning very well. Well, it would, but I don't have time to wait about 2 months for this to occur. Um, so basically, what I'm going to be doing is last weekend my husband and I went out and we bought some black mulch, and I'm going to be mulching three separate areas. And basically, the mulch bags are sitting on top of them right now. That portion, and that portion. And the reason for it is because eventually that's where I would like to plant some spinach, some lettuces, different type of lettuces, basically come in cut varieties. Collard greens, um, kale. I really like curly kale and dinosaur kale a lot. I don't know if I even have those seeds or not, but I don't. Any seeds will do right now. And I think I also have bok choy, and I would like to plant some carrots as well. I'm thinking that the carrots are going to go here, the closest to the house, because that I have worked the soil quite a bit, and I know that there's no roots from any of those trees that are peeking down under there, and so I know that that will be a great place for it. Or I could plant them over here next to the peas, because that has been worked quite a bit as well. It's not packed down. I don't know. I don't know exactly where. But anyway, these are my tomatoes right here. These are my Roma tomatoes. Right behind them are my poblano tomatoes. Yeah, poblano tomatoes, peppers. And you could see some onions in between. They're great companion plants, and so I planted them in. And I really didn't even know that they were going to take off. I thought that they had died, because I really watered the tomatoes quite a bit because they like water. They're very heavy drinkers, and so are the peppers. And I thought I had drowned out the onions, but apparently not. And there's some more onions growing over here. And in this little patch, oh, look it there is my little one of my carrots. Let me find it. There it is. There's one of my carrots. Oh, how cute. I didn't even know. That's the first time I've seen that. Huh. That's kind of cool. Let me see if I see something else that is growing up in here. Well, some weeds. Nope, nothing else. I did plant some eggplant in here. Cucumber and cantaloupe, but unfortunately this past week, during the week, it was very, very cold. Well, not too cold, but for North Florida it was cold, and I'm thinking that they may not have made it, but I'm not really concerned about that, because I do have some starts that I'm growing in some peat pods and some, yeah, peat pods. But this is my tomato that is the tallest one so far. I'm very impressed with it. I've been pinching out the suckers. Well, I see another sucker right in here. Do you see it right there in the middle of that? Oh, I'm out of frame. Do you see it right in the middle of that V? I need to pull it out, but I don't want to. Oh, well, there's another one, a healthier one up here. Okay, so I'm going to pull this one out because it's not needed. It's just going to create more of a bushy plant, but I don't want a bushy plant. What I want are tomatoes, not leaves. And okay, my nails are not strong enough to remove that. Basically, what I like to do to all my tomatoes, the last time I grew tomatoes, it was very successful. I like to keep the stem as at least part of the stem. As you notice, it just has like a long leg, and I took off all of the offshoots that it had here. Do you see that? All of those, I pulled them off because basically, when you water, if water gets onto your leaves, it creates blight. It can also create other diseases, or other pests can be invited into the game. And so I eliminate as much of the bottom growth as possible, because like I said before, I don't want leaves. What I want are tomatoes. And so one of my favorite things to make in the kitchen with with tomatoes and zucchini is all sorts of zucchinis and eggplant is ratatouille. And I also like eggplant parmesan. I also like where the eggplant is rolled up with the cheese on the inside and then some kind of marinara sauce. And oh, so very good. But anyway, it's going to be a while before I can eat that. But so far, the beginnings of my garden. Now, some of you may wonder, what in the world is this hole here for? Basically, I was given a whole bunch of those buckets. And if you could see all of the ones that I have my potatoes in, they have holes at the bottom. Well, I want my husband to make me some more of those with a bunch of holes, but all the way up the bucket. And eventually I want to stick it in here, and that will be another compost pail, so to speak. I would like to eventually get about 5 or 6 of them in here. So as I do have vegetable waste in the kitchen, I can just put it in my compost pile. Here's my current compost pile, and it's looking pretty good. It's not a hot compost pile, unfortunately. I don't have enough grass trimmings for it to get it hot, but I do have a compost pile, but it's not working over well enough or fast enough for my liking. And so eventually I want to put one here, and I want to put one here. I want to put one over there by that tree, in between those two beds, and right in front of that mulch bag, and one right in front of this mulch bag. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting down that mulch, that one, that one, that one, that one, and then I'm going to make holes in between my beds, in between my kind of by my tomatoes and my peppers. And my husband already made holes into these buckets. He puts some in the bottom and he puts some on the sides, and basically I'm going to put them in there. And instead of having to waste so much water, which we have in the last couple of weeks, we've wasted a lot of water, because I'm watering a lot and it needs to be watered. But I'm thinking that since the tomatoes need a lot of water, I might as well, since we had all of those jugs anyway, I'm going to dig back. I'm going to remove some of the mulch, dig into the ground, suppress them in there, the bottles. And that way, when I go to water my plants, I can specifically put some water in there specifically for my tomato plants and my pepper plants. And hopefully that will help curb a little bit of our excess spending when it comes to our water, when we go to water our plants. Over here I have a big old mess right here. You could see that I dug up a lot of stuff, a lot of weeds. Now I also have a lot of lawn, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be planting some some bulbs. I have some bulbs over here that I bought not too long ago. Or actually, I think somebody gave them to me. I think one of the ladies at work gave them to me. I'm going to plant some glads, more glads. Oh, and even more glads. Pink Supreme, Purple Rain mix, and Trader Horn. And those are my two of my dogs. Frijol and Arroz. Frijol is the big brown one. Arrocito is the Shih Tzu Chihuahua mix. But remember earlier I was telling you that about the eggplant that may not have sprouted, may not come up as a seedling. I'm not really that concerned, because right here I have 2 that came up in seedling. I have a jigsaw pepper that I want to put into one of those little pots right there. And so I planted, oh, actually there's one there, and there's one over here. You can't really see the leaf very well. because it happens to just be almost the same color as the soil. Let me see if I could get it kind of at an angle, and you could kind of see it a little bit. But those are the only two that popped up in this tray. It reminds me of a nice tray. Over here I have tomatillo, and I'm very pleased because it came up. It was very, very cold. I mean, I think one morning it was like 45 and they were out here and they came up. I'm impressed, especially with the peppers, because peppers are, they like the heat. They don't like it to get cold, and then yet they came up. I have a bunch of sweet basil. Eventually I have several. I put several seeds in each of the cells, and I'm very pleased because each of those little basils I want to put next to the tomato plants, so it can help me with the bug population. Over here I have more onions. Once again, I want to plant the onions close to the, this one did a lot better. Both of these are white Creole onions. And this one did a lot better than this one did. I'm not exactly sure why, but I don't, either way, they're just going to go next to the tomatoes. These are the ones that my husband likes for grilling because they look like regular green onions, but the bulb at the bottom is a little bit heftier. And so he likes to grill them and just eat them like, they're phenomenal. These are Walla Walla onions. To be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure which ones are the ones that because I just get them and I never notice what, it just says onions. It says green onions. And so I planted these Walla Walla onions. I like the name because of the Walla Walla, hey, Samina, Samina. Waka Waka, hey, Samina, Samina, hey. La la la, Africa, the song by Shakira. But anyway, those I got them specifically because they reminded me of Shakira. Because of that song. And the Creole onions right there. And the marigolds did well. The nasturtiums, only one came up, but I don't care. I mean, this is all trial and error every single time. And so the ones that did not have anything sprout, eventually I'm going to take them inside, put them in my, on top of my heat mat. And I'm going to put more nasturtium seeds in them. And hopefully the peat pot will eventually produce something. Right there I have spinach. I'm sorry, those are lettuces. Those are lettuces too. Right here I put spinach, but they were out here, and even though I had them covered, hold on, I'm going to show you. I have these little things that I got from the, whenever I would go to the pulga, to the flea market, they would give me these, whenever I would get any groceries, because I didn't want them going all over my car and my trunk. I would ask them to get me to put them in a box, and they would give me these plastic things. And I had them in the trunk for the longest time, these little plastic things. And I had them in the back of the trunk, and whenever I would go grocery shopping, I would put my groceries in there so that way it would. But I thought it best for me to use them out here for this because it allows airflow, it allows sun to get in there, and meanwhile they're hardening up. They're not just used to just being inside. And so I thought it was the best kind of both worlds. These are some pepper plants that I had last year. And as you could see, look, let me see what kind of pepper this is. I don't even think it's going to be evident anymore on this. Man. Well, I'm glad I got a different marking system because that one just completely doesn't work anymore. Doesn't tell me what it is. But anyway, I know I like it. So right now it's just little baby peppers. One, here's two. And here's a third one right here. So on one tree, I have 3 little peppers coming in. This pepper, I thought it had completely died. And I had cut off the stumps. And I just left them there. And lo and behold, this one started growing. This one, I don't see any growth there. So eventually, I'll have to remove this stump. But look at this. I don't know. Once again, I don't know what kind of pepper it is. And here's another one. And that's it. I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, Diego's in my garden. Dieguito, you need to get out. Look at him. He's going to dig up my plants. No. Let me get him out. Talk to you later.